with a major snowstorm hitting in the Midwest and right here in the Northeast.
Yeah, nearly a dozen counties in New York are under a state of emergency. The lake effect snowfall has reached between 2 to 3 inches per hour in just the last 24 hours. People are being told to not drive at all, which is creating a messy start for holiday travel.
We have you covered from every angle. NBC News correspondent Ron Allen is at LaGuardia International Airport in New York City. But first, let's head out to NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra, who is near Buffalo, where snowfall could reach up to 4 feet. That's like this tall on me, by the way, by Sunday. So, Marissa, good to see you. Good to have you. We know some of the highways were closed to semi-trucks because of the heavy snowfall. What do we know about road conditions right now?
Well, good afternoon to both of you. Yeah, Kathy, I'm taking the torch for you by standing out here in snowy Buffalo. We're actually in Lackawanna, which is about 10 miles south, give or take, of Buffalo. So when we talk about the status of the travel ban, the travel advisories, it depends on where you are and what time of day, because it's off and on and off and on. So in parts of Buffalo, it was on and then it was off, and now it's on again in South Buffalo. Here in Lackawanna, it is on, and you're about to see why. Our photographer Paul is going to zoom in. What you see is just a mess. It has been like this for about an hour. You see several semi-trucks. They are stuck behind that one in the front that has not been able to move, and this is more or less more of the same of what we are seeing on the roads. This is why that travel ban is in effect to begin with. They don't want this mess on the roads. So they say that actually this morning when they gave a press conference update, they said they're seeing less of these accidents that they're trying to prevent as a result of the travel advisories and bans. But still, we're still seeing spinouts. We saw a couple happening behind us even minutes before our live shot. So, you know, they're doing the best they can to prevent it. It's still happening.
Yeah, Marissa, it's really hard to believe just looking at those pictures right now that this is still the beginning of the snowstorm. So when do they expect things will kind of get better? I know this is supposed to kind of last through the weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the magic question, right? Everyone is wondering the same. And there's a reason why the Buffalo Bills have moved their game from here in the Orchard Park area specifically. They moved it from there to Detroit. That's supposed to happen on Sunday. They canceled their practice today. So I think the question is, when is this supposed to taper off? Well, I think the hope is by the end of the weekend, especially in time for Thanksgiving. We know Thanksgiving holiday travel plans have already been a little impacted on my flight here, which, by the way, was one of the very last flights to land here in Buffalo. I had a lot of people that were on my plane saying they changed their travel plans so they could try to get home with their families in time for Thanksgiving. So, I mean, I think everyone's trying to look into their crystal ball to figure out when this is going to be over.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to get out there early. At one point, though, Marissa, more than 2,000 customers were in the dark. They didn't have power last night. So give us an update on that. Where do things stand? And how are officials gearing up as conditions worsen today?
Yeah, so while I answer that, I want to take a walk. I'm going to have my producer, Alex Rhodes, here hand me a measuring stick. So what I want to show you is why we're seeing thousands of customers without power in certain areas, like the Orchard Park area we were talking about. So obviously this is part of a snowbank, but when we put down the measuring stick in the right direction, it is about 20 inches. That's about 20 inches here. And you got to remember, this is heavy snow, and it's landing on trees that fall. We're talking about branches that fall on power lines. So just remember, if you are without power, keep your generator outside of your house. That is something authorities are trying to remind people of. Back to you guys.
All right, some good tips. NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra braving the elements for us. Marissa, thanks.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.